When alone. This week we're talking about loneliness that people experience due to different range of factors, and we're asking the questions: is loneliness a threat for everyone? And also, what are some of the circumstances that we find ourselves being predispositioned to experience loneliness?
We're continuing the study on family seasons, looking at different things that we go through in life, and loneliness, it's a big one. But to be honest, I got a bit upset from this lesson, because other than stating that there is a problem, it doesn't do much else. It does look at some reasons and circumstances, but I don't see any real solutions or even suggestions. My preferred approach for this lesson would probably be to try to listen more in my Sabbath school group, to the people around me, rather than talk. It just seems that this subject is more suitable for listening. But we do have to cover what the lesson goes through, and we start by acknowledging the problem. Even though we live in a planet that is getting overpopulated, even though we may have lots of friends, many of us feel or experience loneliness.
It's worth mentioning at the beginning that loneliness is the lack of companionship in its basis. According to the Bible and Genesis, the book of Genesis, God engineered our existence in a shared companionship kind of environment. He made Eve for Adam, regardless of Adam's in-person fellowship with God. God saw something was missing. It was not enough for the creation to be good.
We do have this natural need to find a soulmate, someone to share our life journey with. But unfortunately, even in marriage, we can get to a point to feel lonely. And there are also people who, for one or another reason, decide to not get attached, so to speak.
Having stated earlier that Genesis' point of view that marriage companionship was God's motto of human existence, immediately in the first part, in Monday's part of the lesson, we find some conflict there. And of course, also there is a clarification that it was sin who is the main distorter of origin and order, which means that immediately when sin appeared, things got altered. Unfortunately, reality was altered, and that's why Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, because of the present distress, it is good for man to remain as he is, meaning to remain single. Not only the Apostle Paul's example, but also the example of many prophets in the Bible shows that marital status, regardless of being that single or probably married to a prostitute, marital status does not have any merit or value in respect to salvation, as some people are trying to push that idea.
We are very diverse and different personalities, but we do share a common human psychology and needs. This is important to understand and to be conscious about the effects of it, and to be also there for each other. Some people do choose to walk through life alone. This can make them more flexible, with less baggage and certain responsibilities, which may be a great benefit in certain cases. But it does have a toll, and awareness is very important. On the other hand, living with people is not really easy, and sometimes we may prefer and choose loneliness intentionally, but it doesn't end well. On the other hand, marriage by itself can be great, go well or not so well. But when it ends, this is another huge shock.
Yeah. In the next two parts of the lesson, we are drawn to the fact that we can experience a tremendous feeling of loneliness due to two reasons. One is divorce, and the other one is loss or death of a lifetime partner. I don't think that personally I can relate to something like that, but from observing and being from outside, it made me believe that it's excruciatingly hard for both parties if it comes to divorce, or at least for one of the parties when it's about loss of a lifetime partner. It crumbles down your whole world. It dismantles your emotional stability. It brings physical, financial, emotional challenges and tragedies. And some people end up alone in this whole process. And that's why the Bible has strong appeal for us to be supportive and to show loving care to those individuals.
It's a personal journey that no one else can walk instead of us. There is no much need for advices or teachings, but of support and presence. Sometimes we may not share the same worldview as our family or our significant other, which may be okay. But it's challenging, especially when there are spiritual differences, and it's about faith and beliefs. Being married with a family, but alone in your life in the church.
Yeah. Lastly, the lesson opens up an opportunity for those who are alone in their marriage as believers or followers of Christ to find more understanding and more acceptance by the community of the church. And we happen to meet those brothers and sisters, those friends, those people that come every week and worship with us. But somewhere deep in their heart, there is loneliness that there is nobody they can share with, especially their living partner. In their spiritual walk, they're in some sort of a single status. God, on the other hand, says with strong words of encouragement in Isaiah 54:5, "For your Maker is your husband." At the end of the day, nobody wants to be lonely. All of us are looking for some way, shape, or form to share our life and who we are with somebody else. And if we embrace the biblical principles, they're going to be able to lead us to an experience of a full happiness in companionship.
So, I think that this lesson is about awareness, sensitivity, and an appeal to be there for help and support.
Join us next week for our lesson will be Wise Words for Families.